The bribe is to grant or withhold military assistance in return for a public statement of a fake investigation into the elections. So that's bribery. Yes.
In the presence of my staff at a restaurant, Ambassador Sondland called President Trump and told him of his meetings in Kyiv. The member of my staff could hear President Trump on the phone asking Ambassador Sondland about the investigations. Ambassador Sondland told President Trump the Ukrainians were ready to move forward. Following the call with President Trump, the member of my staff asked Ambassador Sondland what President Trump thought about Ukraine. Ambassador Sondland responded that President Trump cares more about the investigations of Biden, which Giuliani was pressing for. At the time I gave my deposition on October 22nd, I was not aware of this information. I'm including it here for completeness.
That in the now infamous July 25th call with Zelensky, Donald Trump brings up a corrupt Ukrainian prosecutor and praises him. Against all evidence, Trump claims that this former prosecutor general was very good and he was shut down, and that's really unfair. But the woman known for fighting corruption, his own former ambassador, the woman ruthlessly smeared and driven from her post, the president does nothing but disparage, or worse, threaten. Well, she's going to go through some things, the president declares.
She's going to go through some things. It didn't sound good. It sounded like a threat.
Moments ago, the jury convicted Roger Stone on all 7 counts on which he had been indicted. So basically 5 counts of lying to Congress, 1 count of obstructing an official proceeding, and a final count of witness tampering.
The hits keep coming. I'm Barry. Whoa, I'm still Barry Gordon.
I didn't even call for the drums yet. And I'm Andre Coleman.
And this is NewsRap live at 5.
Drums.
Now the drum.
That was a great beginning.
Yeah, that was a good way to start.
Kind of like.
But we're here.
Yeah.
We're here. That's the important thing. All right.
All right. Interesting week, Barry.
Interesting week, yes.
2 full impeachment hearings.
Yes.
Roger Stone could be going to the joint.
Yeah.
Give me a Barry Gordon scorecard.
Scorecard.
Letter grade, number, however you want to do it.
For who?
For our side.
Oh, for our side?
You always do your side.
I think A-.
Wow. It's good.
I'll go to A-.
For
I don't give A's very easily.
apparently.
As a teacher, I'm not great at giving A's. The reason I'm going to an A- is that if people, I think, were looking for drama. Well, actually, let me change that. I'm going to give the impeachment inquiry an A.
Okay.
But I'm going to give the American people
Wow.
B+.
Wow. Okay. So you got something to say here, obviously.
Yeah, and I'm going to do that because, you know, we're going to hear a lot, and maybe it's the media that I'm actually giving a C to.
So you got a problem with us?
Because, yeah, I got a problem with it. Well, not us.
I'm
you,
media.
Not you and me. I am too on this show, but yeah.
You just
the
want to
problem
be
is
everything
that...
I am Barry wants to be. Last week you went on and
I
on
know.
about being black. And really, I think you were trying to tell the audience secretly you wish you were black on the air, but we're not going to get into that this week.
Sometimes
so.
I do, but that's another story.
Everybody does.
That's another story. If you've seen me dance, yes, I wish I wish I was.
Touche.
And on times.
All right.
So, where was I? Okay.
The American people.
Everyone's waiting for moments.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's waiting for the line, the drama. We do it with debates. We do it with campaigns. We do it with everything. And that's not what this is about, folks. And what this is about, now I'll put my lawyer hat on.
Okay.
This is about building a case, brick by brick
But
by brick. And you never, ever start with your key witness. You don't do that.
Well, did they do
you
that?
You don't start with the fireworks. You start with laying a foundation.
So you got to light the
And
match.
These three people have laid the foundation. Okay. What we know is that something weird was going on with our involvement with Ukraine. That there was a channel that, and it's not about process and, it should be, following the book and, No, it's not about that. It's about a policy that's actually been built on an interagency level and also between Congress and the White House. So there is a policy that everyone's following, and now we find out that there is a group of people apparently directed by the president. We don't know that yet. Apparently directed by the president, who are working directly against that policy.
So almost a deep state.
Kind of a very shallow deep state.
A shallow deep
because
state.
it's only a few guys, right?
Well, I'll tell you.
And they're running around doing things that are contrary. So what I think Adam is doing is he's unlike what might be happening in judiciary, where they'd be going right for the jugular and right to talking about, is it bribery, extortion, whatever it might be. What Adam is doing is showing the national security implications of what is happening.
Right.
And the thing that you cannot escape is that whether or not it was meant to be this way, and I believe that, Trump just wanted information about Biden so that he could use it in the election. I do totally believe that.
See, I disagree with that.
You don't think he wants to sully Biden for the election?
Well, you didn't say sully. You said he wanted information. I don't think he's looking for information.
No, he's looking to, he wanted the
He wanted
public.
to create something.
Yes, he wanted the public statement.
Right. He wanted to create a
No,
narrative.
he's not. I don't.
Right.
I mean, he may be. He might be nutty enough to be actually thinking that there isn't a server in the Ukraine, and that there was, then that Biden. Because look, he will always accuse people of doing what he knows he would do.
Of course.
Right?
But that's what we all do.
Well, to an extent. But it's called projection.
Of course,
right?
but that's what we all do. You want me to?
I don't know if we all do that.
We do. Let me explain it to you.
Go for it.
We all make, every judgment we make, every decision we make about somebody else is based on our own behavior and what we would do. We're calling him a liar because we don't lie to that degree. We're calling him corrupt because we're not corrupt.
I can't argue with that. That's right.
Yeah. We all size it up based on who we are and we expand it out.
Based on who we are.
Yeah. So when you look at something and you go, for example, when he said that phone call was perfect, that was the funniest thing in the world to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's not what I would have done.
Right.
I would have went with, I screwed up, I made a mistake.
Right.
But he went with, it's perfect because...
Well, I think you have to go beyond that. You wouldn't have had that phone call.
Not at all.
Right. So you would...
But if I did, it would have been a mistake, is my point.
Right.
But he instantly went to the lie because that's what he did. Those of us who wouldn't instantly go to the lie, we see the corruption in it.
Yeah.
That's the point I was making.
No, I think that's a good point. And I think he assumes that Biden did interfere on behalf of his son and that Biden did have some corrupt motive in Burisma. I do, because he would. And so he would see that, he must be thinking that because that's how I think.
Of course.
And that, so I will not go to the place that he just wants to make it up. I think he believes it's there.
Well,
because I think that there are two parts of Donald Trump.
Go ahead.
There's the evil part of Donald Trump. Well, there are three parts. There's the evil part of Donald Trump.
There's going to be 6 or 7.
There's the stupid part of Donald Trump, and that was revealed today.
Okay.
And we'll go there. And there's the crazy part of Donald Trump.
There's only one part.
And he is crazy.
There's only one hole.
Okay.
He's a jackass. That's it.
Well, that kind of encompasses it. That's true.
what you're saying. You put it all together and he's a jackass. That's what you get. And I'll tell you why.
Why?
He's caught. He knows he's caught. And even doing all this about Biden, this just comes back to what we talked about before about the college scandal and all that. This is what rich people do for their kids.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
even today, a rumor comes out that the RNC is buying his kid's book, so it'll make the bestsellers list. But Junior and Eric and Ivanka and Jared and whoever the hell else is out there,
The Brady Bunch, yeah.
they would not be where they are if
Yeah.
their last name was not Trump.
That's true.
This is what rich people do for their kids, whether it's getting them into colleges they don't belong into, or getting them jobs that they're ill-equipped for.
Mm-hmm.
This is what happens. So should Hunter Biden have made $50,000 a month? No.
No, and I agree with that.
Unless.
But what everyone has said about that is there could be an appearance of a
Right.
conflict of interest. No one has accused Hunter Biden of a conflict of interest.
He should not make $50,000 a month unless someone is willing to pay him $50,000 a month legally.
Right.
He didn't break the law. Because you know what? I would take it. I'd be in the Ukraine tomorrow with no experience, no knowledge, not able to speak the language, just like Hunter Biden
Right.
if they were naming me $50,000 a month.
Well,
and you'd be on the plane right behind me hoping you'd get the job too.
you're right. And that's another point, because the point is, I don't think it's a board with one person on it.
Of course. There you go.
And so I haven't heard him say, investigate all of the, and
Right.
what about this person?
Right.
And what about that person? I'm just hearing about Hunter Biden.
Well-
and now, with this phone call, we've got a little information
Yeah, break
on
this down for
I
me.
might try to do that.
While you're looking at that, it's just amazing to me that
I'm stealing this from CNN. Thank you, CNN.
the guy with no experience to be president is talking about how somebody else doesn't have experience to sit on a board.
That's right.
How does that work? So you're looking at this now. So let me give you my grade.
Go for it.
I give Adam Schiff an A minus.
Okay.
Yesterday, I thought
You mean Wednesday?
Wednesday. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I thought he did great today.
Yeah.
Great. Didn't take any stuff. Laid it down. Knew what he was doing.
Right.
I thought Wednesday his opening statement was great, but it was a little clunky getting started. I thought Just coming out of the box, maybe some nerves, and that's why I pull it down some.
Okay.
I thought the witnesses on Wednesday were great, but I thought today Adam hit it out of the park and the witness hit it out of the park. Over and over and over.
Well, you know who hit it out of the park for Adam?
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump,
Yeah.
of course, because the Republicans were ready to go after Ivanovic.
They were ready to go.
They were ready to go. I mean, you could see where they were going to go.
was
They
blood
were
in the
going to
water.
try to make this disgruntled employee. This belongs with human resources.
He has the right to fire you, and he has the right to hire you.
Exactly. And then what happens is, while they're trying to say, that Trump did nothing wrong,
He does something
the
wrong.
idiot does something wrong, and he then basically, again disparages her. So what did you hear? Did you hear anybody say, boy, those are good points. What did happen in Somalia?
Yeah.
And what did you do? And how bad are you? No, what we heard is, we want more people like you.
Right.
We want more public servants
And thank you for
like
your- and thank you for your
They
service.
would never have gone there.
They had to.
They had to. So now they've completely disowned Trump's defense.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no other way to describe it.
At all.
Because now he's there saying she's terrible. They're there saying
She's great.
She's great. So what is the answer?
Yeah.
And how they're going to reconcile that in the next week, I have no idea.
They're gonna have to chalk this day up to a loss. That's the only thing they can do.
They
with it.
are. They are.
They lost it. You got it?
I got it.
Go ahead.
All right. So I'm going to read it. Okay.
Can I stop you for commentary along the way? or
So,
you want-
so a U.S. ambassador, and we
Okay.
know who that is. That's Sondland.
Okay.
Okay.
Who's due to testify?
Yes, next
Right.
week. Told President Donald Trump that Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky loves your ass.
Stop. Is the president of Ukraine a grown man?
Yeah.
So you got one grown man running a country telling another grown man running a country he loves his ass.
No, I think that was Sondland's interpretation. I won't. He
Well-
didn't say President Zelensky said he loves your ass.
Read it again.
He just said a U.S. ambassador told Trump that Ukrainian President Zelensky loves your ass.
You don't need
Those
said.
are Sondland's words.
You don't need said.
Those aren't Zelensky's
You don't need
words.
set. You have a grown man It's the implication is that he loves his ass. Keep going.
Okay, you're going down a rabbit hole.
No,
but
no,
okay.
no. Those are
And
your
that-
words.
okay.
It says he loves his ass.
Well, they're not my words. They're
You're
CNN.
reading it. Keep
Okay,
going.
and that Ukraine was going to move forward with the investigation.
Okay.
Trump had asked Zelensky for a day earlier. All right?
All right.
Now, this is all coming from behind closed doors. I don't know who's leaking it,
Part of an
folks.
open statement. Part of an opening statement.
Oh, was it an open statement?
That's what I understand. It's part of an opening
Oh, okay.
statement. So
It
keep
doesn't
going.
say that.
All right.
It just says David Holmes told lawmakers
Okay.
in a closed-door impeachment inquiry
All right.
that Sondland had told Trump the Ukrainian president would do, quote, anything you ask him to. That's, again, Sondland's quote.
So he loves his ass. He'll do anything he asks him to do.
Right, and that Sondland had confirmed the Ukrainians were going to do the investigation. One day after Trump asked Zelensky to investigate former Vice President Joe Biden. There's more. Holmes' statement confirmed the testimony from Bill Taylor. So the phone call is confirmed, right, that he talked about. Yes, it places Trump closer to the push for Ukraine. It does. But we already knew that. That's not new. So Sondland told Trump that Zelensky loves your ass. He keeps repeating this. Holmes
See?
said,
He keeps going back to that.
oh, you're right, according to a copy of his opening statement.
Okay.
I then heard President Trump ask, so he's going to do the investigation? Ambassador Sondland replied that he's going to do it, adding that Zelensky will do anything you ask him to.
So
Holmes explained that Sondland placed the call to Trump. He could hear Trump because the call was so loud on the terrace of a restaurant where they dined with two others. So there are three people that heard that call, and Sondland, obviously. While Ambassador Sondland's phone was not on speakerphone, I could hear the president's voice. The president's voice was very loud and recognizable. Again, Trump blows it. And Ambassador Sondland held the phone away from his ear for a period of time,
'Cause it was so loud.
presumably because of the loud volume. Okay, so he says, I did not take notes, Holmes said, but I have a clear recollection that these statements were made. Holmes also confirmed Taylor's testimony about the president's thoughts on Ukraine, saying he had asked Sondland if it was true that the president did not give a S about Ukraine. Holmes said Sondland had responded that Trump cares only about big stuff. When Holmes said
there's all kind of things I could just go with down on that.
when
based
Holmes
on this
said that the
conversation.
Ukraine war was big, kinda, Sondland responded, no, big stuff that benefits the president.
like an investigation, into-
Like the Biden, not an investigation,
But the Biden.
like the Biden investigation, that, another name, that Mr. Giuliani was pushing.
Let's unpack this.
Let's unpack it. It's pretty unpacked already.
Well, no.
But go ahead.
So let's take this from the point of view that
Okay.
we are on the committee.
Okay.
My first question. During this conversation that you heard, at any time did the president say the word
I didn't hear it.
corruption? No. That's what I would ask the witness.
Oh, yeah.
Did he say the word corruption?
No.
So
He never. He says Biden. Biden apparently now is, if you go to Oxford Dictionary,
it's-
what you're going to see
it's a
is when you
synonym.
look up corruption
You
and
see
you look
Joe
up the
Biden.
synonyms, you're going to see Biden.
right, holding a picture of Obama,
Exactly.
undoubtedly.
Yeah, right. Undoubtedly. Right. So that's what we're going to see now. So, yeah, that's what it was. Also, Holmes added details about the freezing of security aid, though he did not have direct knowledge. He said Bolton expressed frustration to Taylor and the NSC aide, who was on the call, I believe, Tim Morrison, about Giuliani's influence with the president. And Bolton indicated that the lifting of the aid would hang on whether Zelensky was able to favorably
lifting of the aid.
impress Trump.
See, you know what I think is going to happen here? I think that by the time we do this show next week, testimony is going to begin to move towards public pressure on some of the people refusing to testify.
I think so. I think that's absolutely true,
And
and
I
I
think-
think particularly on Bolton.
On Bolton.
Because what we're doing, I mean, what is happening, again, if you don't think of what the media needs, which are these moments that everyone can go crazy about and show sound bites on, if you take this from a lawyer's perspective, they're going from the outer circle to the inner circle.
Now, is that common when
That's exactly how you do it.
That's how you do it? Okay.
That's exactly how you do it. Now, the other thing, and I was watching one of the lawyer commentators. By the way, did you know that on Wednesday on MSNBC, do you know who one of the lawyer commentators was?
No.
Kellyanne's husband. George Conway
Wow.
was one of the commentators on MSNBC.
Thanksgiving's going to be weird.
And boy, did he have things to say.
Thanksgiving's going to
So,
be weird in
yeah.
that house. Trust me, pal.
So it says Holmes said he was personally aware of the episodes Taylor testified to about Sondland saying that everything relied on announcing an investigation. But Holmes said that Taylor told him on September 8th, now they're insisting Zelensky commit to the investigation in an interview with CNN. And Holmes said, I was surprised the requirement was so specific and concrete. While we had advised our Ukrainian counterparts, there's more here. While we had advised our Ukrainian counterparts to voice a commitment to following the rule of law and generally to investigating credible corruption allegations.
There's the word. Okay.
This was a demand that President Zelensky personally commit to a specific investigation of President Trump's political rival on an American cable news channel.
So let me ask you this. Do you have any knowledge of an interview being set up with Zelensky? I know at the last minute, supposedly, he didn't go through with one.
He did not.
Did CNN ever have it set up and he canceled it, or was it just not set up?
I don't have knowledge of that because the freeze was lifted.
See, that would be a good question.
Because between all of that, the whistleblower comes forward.
Well,
and as soon as the whistleblower comes forward, the freeze is lifted.
Well, I'll tell you why the president is in a lot of trouble here. First off, you see things aligning. Roger Stone, he's beginning to lose the cases on things like his taxes. You see that happening this week.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's writing a letter to try to take it to the Supreme Court. But the biggest issue he has is we've had 3 witnesses, none of which heard this phone call firsthand. And those 3 witnesses were all strong witnesses and all moved the needle a little bit. But now we get into people who heard the phone call.
Yeah.
Now we will get into people who are
Vindman is going to testify next week.
Firsthand witnesses.
That's right.
So now we go from this defense of, oh, it's a church list, and Bob told Sally, and Sally told Steve told you, to, no, I heard it myself.
Right. And we don't know what the result will be, but on December 10th, a judge is going to hear an argument that an impeachment inquiry should take precedent over, and a bona fide issued subpoena should take precedent over a president saying, no, don't go there.
Yeah, I think
Now, we don't know what that judge is going to do. He's a Bush-appointed judge. He's not a Trump-appointed judge. So we don't know, we'll know soon enough.
He's in some trouble because the kind of witnesses they have are the kind of witnesses and the kind of testimony I've heard so far are the kind that can move voters.
Mm-hmm.
And if you move voters and you move enough voters, you begin to move politicians.
That's right.
And that's where I think he's in trouble.
Well, I think he might be. Now, there was another, we were talking about big stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think we have to know what Trump thinks is important. And certainly Biden is number 1 on his list. But apparently on the same call, Sondland talked to Trump about ASAP Rocky, the rapper, the American rapper, who had been arrested in Sweden.
Right.
And Sondland told Trump that Sweden should have released him on your word. And later adding that Trump could tell the Kardashians you tried. So those are the things that are on our president's mind. And
the whole world's a better place now.
it really is. The man is okay.
He's an
I don't. I have no idea what to say. I mean, he's turning the country into a reality show.
Turning it into.
Yeah.
He's
been doing that for a few years
we've
now.
been there for a minute now. I mean,
We have.
I mean, who's playing the mom in this season?
I know. So what we need to do is to show some local, right?
Let's show it on the way to Studio
Show
B.
some local on the way to Studio B.
right.
I don't know how long the package is. What, about 2 minutes probably?
2 minutes.
So why don't we go there?
And that'll give us
we'll
time
head
to
to Studio B.
get
talk
some cookies.
2020. Some
All right.
interesting stuff
Oh,
is
no.
going on.
Oh, no.
Interesting stuff
Oh, no.
in the election.
Not the election.
You don't want to talk about
You're going to
that
say the
election.
name. You're going to say the name.
Of course I'm going to say the name. I'm going to say a lot of names.
Oh, no.
Not just her name. Okay.
At least I'll have cookies
All right.
to save me.
Let's run the local brief. Do we sign off? Yes,
Let's sign off.
I'm Barry Gordon.
I'm Andre Coleman, and I'm still not being impeached.
Okay, and this is NewsRap live at 5. Heading to Facebook. Let's see the local brief.
All right.
This is your local news brief for Friday, November 15th, 2019. The nomination process for mayoral and city council elections opened on November 12th, bringing in new potential candidates. District 1's Tyrone Hampton could face Anthony Montiel and Darrell Nash. District 2's Margaret McGaustin will not seek re-election, but already announced Felicia Williams could face Alex Hyman, Tricia Keene, Bagos Patatian, and Kevin Litwin. District 4's Jean Masuda and already announced Charlotte Bland could face Kevin Wheeler. Joe Bagdadlian, who announced a campaign for this seat, has yet to pull papers. District 6's Steve Madison and already announced Ryan Bell could be up against already announced Tamerlyn Godley, although she has yet to pull papers as well. Potentially joining the mayoral race against incumbent Mayor Turnick and already announced Victor Gordo, Major Williams, and Jason Hardin is Mike Garagos. All non-incumbent city council candidates must get 25 signatures to make the ballot, while all potential mayoral candidates must get 50. The window for nominations ends on December 6th. Pasadena's Planning Commission has dismissed City Manager Steve Mermel's cannabis ordinance proposal. Mermel's proposal would have allowed for up to 3 cannabis retailers within a single district. It would also have reduced the required distance between retailers. The proposal comes after cannabis retailers who were turned away filed lawsuits against the city. Council member Steve Madison held Reconnecting Pasadena, reimagining Pasadena in a time of no 710 tunnel, at the Pasadena Convention Center on Wednesday night. The community forum was held to get public input on what should be built on the property that was supposed to be the 710 freeway tunnel. Caltrans really has an obligation now to return the property to Pasadena, and then we have the challenge and opportunity of what to do with it at that point, Madison is quoted as saying in a Pasadena Now article. Pasadena's transportation director, Laura Cornejo, is quoted in the article as saying, "We first have to come to an agreement with Caltrans as to the terms of relinquishing the corridor." Cornejo, along with the Caltrans District 7 director and several others, all gave presentations at the forum.